got to be completely honest here. I didn't expect Rogue Rollout to be as good and addictive as a roguelike game that it is. And despite it having some pretty basic looking visuals and UI, the gameplay mechanics are really fun. And to be fair, there's been quite a few patches, 3 alone in the last week since I've been playing, so I'm pretty confident that the game will improve at a steady rate. Just don't be expecting anything visually stunning in this video. But at its core, it's a YAHTZEE Roguelike game, which might not sound that cool, but it certainly is. I spent hours and hours playing it whilst watching the Olympics. So how does it work? Let's take a look. Rogue Rollout lets you tackle levels, of which there are 42 to complete in a run, but it does let you go into an endless mode after that. So to beat the level, you need to reach a point score total, which is simple enough, but the target score increases after each success, and it happens pretty quickly. If you don't know YAHTZEE, you score points by creating dice combinations such as 3 of one number and straights, and you get a certain amount of rerolls to try and improve your combinations. Simples. On the first few levels, it's pretty bland, but given the roguelike elements we are about to talk about, things get quite fun and crazy quickly, and that's all down to the artifacts that you get in the game. Before each level, you are required to pick out an artifact that will change some element of your run. These artifacts alternate between positive and negative changes, and are permanent throughout your whole run. You might, for example, increase the total score of the 1 to 6 dice scores in one round, and in the next, end up not being able to play any single 6 scores for the rest of the game. The main strategy to consider here though is a multiplier. You will be constantly finding ways to boost the multipliers of your scores, otherwise you won't have any chance to make the target, which moves up from 120 well into the tens and hundreds of thousands. You do also have to try and work out how to choose negative artifacts that won't get in the way of your main strategy. For example, you might try and choose artifacts that only negatively impact the straight scores, and then try and not rely on those to reach the target. As you get further and further into your run, of course, this becomes harder to balance. If you're doing things right in the mid game, you'll be clearing levels after a roll or 2 with only 1 score, and trying to stay ahead of the curve as the target gets more and more difficult. Rogue Rollout does offer some little challenges that you can select before the run, and a leaderboard as well. You can check out the demo later this month on the 8th, and keep an eye out for a release date in November for around $10. In the meantime, let me know what you think of this game.